likely have an impact on surgeries and
Today on Ignite News, Mohawk College's new aviation program gets a major lift.
Having a big airplane on board, having something that the students can actually get their hands on to work on, is going to give them that little bit of an advantage over someone who maybe only ever gets to work on the lighter aircraft.
The Santa Claus Parade comes to Hamilton.
You must be good at school, be good for your mom and dad, and get to bed nice and early on Christmas Eve.
International Education Week kicks off at Mohawk College.
There's a steel drum act planned, so there's a 5-piece steel drum act, there was Polynesian dancers, and then the Bhangra team that performs.
It's fairly cool across the region this morning. Expect sunny skies over the weekend. All that and more coming up in your weather.
Coming up in entertainment, the Twilight Saga comes to an end, and Toronto's The Weeknd releases the trilogy.
The Hamilton Bulldogs try to shake their losing streak, and which Sweden player scores 4 goals and ends off with an amazing one? All that and more coming up in your sports.
Good morning. Welcome to your Ignite News for Thursday, November 15th. I'm Alicia Gallant.
And I'm Lee McConnell. Here's what's making news.
A metal fabricating factory on Zelko Drive in Burlington caught fire this morning, with flames visible from the QEW. 35 firefighters rushed to the scene after receiving several 911 calls and were still dousing flames 2 hours after the blaze began. No injuries have been reported. Police have blocked off Zelko Drive at Harvester Road, just south of Appleby Line.
Former NHL player Stan Jonathan has been charged with criminal negligence causing death after being involved in a hunting accident on the Six Nations Reserve. Peter Kosa was bow hunting on the reserve when Jonathan accidentally shot him in the back from the length of more than 3 football fields away. Jonathan played for the Boston Bruins in the 70s and was well known for his hockey fighting skills. If Jonathan is found guilty, he will face a minimum sentence of 4 years in jail.
The price tag for the BP oil spill that saw nearly 800 million liters spill into the Gulf of Mexico 2 years ago could top $1 billion. The fine still has to be reviewed by the U.S. government and does not mean the company is free from paying for private damages. The spill occurred when the Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded along the Louisiana coastline, killing 11 people. It's considered one of the worst oil spills in history.
A classroom was donated to Mohawk College, but here's the catch. The classroom is so big, it has to be stored at Hamilton's International Airport. Ignite News reporter Diego Famini has more.
It might look like any other airplane, but take a walk inside and it's anything but. The Boeing 727 jet was donated by Kelowna Flightcraft and will serve as the newest classroom and lab for Mohawk's aviation program located at the Hamilton International Airport. The luxury interior and gadgets that once lined the aircraft have been ripped away, leaving exposed wiring and oxygen hoses for the students to work on. Instructor Blaine Stafford says the life-sized lab could help students find a job after graduation.
Well, we kind of like to think that we offer a little bit of everything, but having a big airplane on board, having something that the students can actually get their hands on to work on, is going to give them that little bit of an advantage over someone who maybe only ever gets to work on the lighter aircraft.
First-year student Jeffrey De Silva says the plane offers a learning dynamic that a textbook simply can't.
You only can learn so much off the books, and a lot of the kids in the aviation program are more hands-on kind of learners. So the fact that we actually get to hold the bolts in our hand, hold the tools, actually get to use them before we actually go out into the field is actually a huge experience for us.
The plane used to belong to Hotel Magnate Leona Helmsley. It was donated to Mohawk last fall, but had to be stripped of its luxury interior, everything down to its solid gold faucet. For Ignite News, I'm Diego Flamini. Over and out.
Toronto police have closed parts of Bay Street after a piece of glass fell from the 34th floor of the downtown Trump Tower. A spokesperson for the tower says a construction worker dropped the piece of glass, and the accident is unrelated to the structure of the building. Some people have reported damages to their cars, but nobody was injured at the time of the incident. This is the second time this year that glass has fallen from the tower. The last accident was blamed on severe weather.
Hamilton's Jackson Square is seeking some local help to make it a little more friendlier. The downtown mall hired David Premi, the same architect who revamped the library and farmers market, to look at how to bring more natural light and recreate the mall's street-level entrances. Premi said the mall is not very transparent and it's hard to see what's going on. He wants to create a connection with the street. These proposed renovations come after Nation's Fresh grocery store took control of a 55,000-foot space at the beginning of the month.
There are more international students than ever at Mohawk College this year, from countries all over the world. This week, you can sample exotic foods, see traditional dance, and learn about some of these cultures during International Education Week. Ignite reporter Amber Warren has the details.
The Bhangra dancers were on display at the Arnie on Wednesday during Common Hour for Culture Fest, a kickoff to International Education Week here at Mohawk. Although there was a minor traffic inconvenience that kept the audience waiting, events programmer Baldeep Rednana says that the event was entertaining for what they had to work with.
There's a steel drum act planned, so there was a 5-piece steel drum act, there was Polynesian dancers, and then the Bhangra team that performs.
Students say that it was a bit of a wait, but once the Bhangra dancers performed, it really showed how multicultural Mohawk can be.
This is definitely necessary for the way we're going in Canada to be multicultural.
Somehow it shows how this country is multicultural.
Several more events for International Education Week will occur from November 12th to the 16th, and Wednesday will feature a private chef cooking up some Bugalicious delight. For Ignite News, I'm Amber Warren.
Property values in Hamilton and Burlington are expected to increase by 7% this year. The average price of Hamilton homes will reach $358,000. 17% of the buyers market in Hamilton and Burlington consist of buyers from the GTA, and they are responsible for the property value increase. A RE/MAX Real Estate report examined the markets in 26 major Canadian cities and says while Regina is the first on the list for growth, Hamilton is a close second.
Could a casino be in Hamilton's future? The city's general manager of planning and economic development says several parties are interested in running a casino here in the Hammer. The city has been playing with the idea since earlier this year when OLG announced provincial modernization of its services. Councillors are getting community feedback and plan to survey residents to see if they want a casino in the city. However, there hasn't been any talk of the potential size or location.
It's a Christmas tradition. The streets of Hamilton were filled with families welcoming a very important man from the North Pole. Ignite News reporter Glenn Cuthbert has more on Hamilton's Santa Claus Parade.
The spirit of Christmas took over the downtown streets on Saturday as Hamilton celebrated the annual Santa Claus Parade. Thousands of people lined the streets watching the elaborate floats and marching bands make their way through the city. Spectators enjoyed the early start to the Christmas season.
Are you liking the parade? Yeah. Yeah, good time.
Okay, it's our first parade, so it's awesome. It's our tradition from now on. So yeah, it's good to be here.
It was good. We got a football and they threw candy up at us on top of Jackson, so it was really good. She had a good time, and it's not too cold.
The parade route started at Queen and Main Streets and made its way through the downtown core before wrapping up beside Copps Coliseum.
Merry Christmas!
Mrs. Claus says Christmas isn't just for the kids.
I absolutely loved it. All the kids, it was just great to see and be able to, spread the Christmas cheer, and not just to the children but to the adults as well.
The parade just wouldn't be the same without the guest of honor, the Fat Man himself. Santa had a message for all the little boys and girls.
You must be good at school, be good for your mom and dad, and get to bed nice and early on Christmas Eve.
Though there may not be any snow on the ground here in downtown Hamilton, the Christmas spirit is definitely in the air. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Glenn Cuthbert.
Here's a look back at today's top stories. A metal fabricating factory on Zelko Drive in Burlington caught fire this morning, with flames visible from the QEW. Former NHL player Stan Jonathan is being charged with criminal negligence causing death after being involved in a hunting accident on the Six Nations Reserve. The price tag for the 2010 BP oil spill that saw nearly 800 million liters spill into the Gulf of Mexico could top $1 billion.
It's a bit chilly this morning, but what's the weekend forecast looking like? Let's head over to Sarah for your weather update.
Thanks, Lee. It's fairly cool across the board this morning with a mix of sun and cloud. Starting off in Windsor, it's sitting at 1 degree with a few clouds. London is experiencing cloudy periods and it's a little cooler at -1. In the Golden Horseshoe, Niagara Falls is also cloudy -1. Toronto is sitting at 2 degrees with variable cloudiness. And here in Hamilton, it's 1 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. Taking a look at the next 24 hours in Hamilton, this evening we'll have cloudy periods at 2 degrees. Overnight, the temperature will drop, but it will feel like -3. Tomorrow morning, we can expect mainly sunny skies at 2 degrees. Looking at the next 5 days in Hamilton, tomorrow it's mainly sunny with a high of 8 degrees. The weekend will be sunny, sitting at 9 degrees on Saturday, and Sunday a low of 1. Heading into next week, Monday will be a high of 8 and a low of 1. Tuesday a little high at 9 and a low of 2 degrees. That's it for me with weather. Let's check in with Greg to see what's happening in entertainment.
Thanks, Sarah. Twihards everywhere can rejoice today as the final installment of the Twilight Saga is released. After 5 films in 4 years, the cast and crew bid farewell to the franchise that launched many of their careers. Cast members such as Robert Pattinson and Taylor Lautner have both seen success outside of the franchise. Catch the final chapter tonight at 10 p.m. playing at the Stony Creek and Ancaster locations. Team Jacob. The phenomenon that is the 50 Shades of Grey has spurred a film adaptation and a massive following. Now, Mills Entertainment and Just for Laughs have teamed up to produce a live show called Spank, a spoof on the popular Grey series. In the play, Alice Moran and Patrick Whalen play a young couple in a troubled relationship, with comedic scenes replacing the book's steamy interludes. The show's opened in Toronto last night and will run straight through until Sunday. Now let's take a look at what's going on in Hamilton and here at Mohawk.
The winter season is fast approaching and Mohawk College is getting prepared. These are the upcoming events on your Mohawk community calendar.
Warm yourself up with a cup of free hot chocolate Monday morning. Stop by the START Student Engagement Office between 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. to start your morning off right. Mohawk College men's and women's basketball take on Redeemer College next Wednesday right here at Fennel Campus Gym. Show your support by catching the games at 6 and 8 p.m. It's time to sharpen your skates. There will be free ice hockey for Mohawk students on Thursday, November 22nd at Stony Creek Arena. The puck drops at 4 p.m. Sign up today in the START Student Engagement Office or contact Jessica Van Hoeren at mohawkcollege.ca. There will be a fall open house for all Mohawk campuses on Saturday, November 24th, beginning at 10 a.m. For more information, go to the Mohawk College homepage. And if you have time after that, don't miss Brantford's Santa Claus Parade starting at 6 p.m.
These are the events on your Mohawk community calendar. For Ignite News, I'm Chelsea Kaufman.
Toronto's own The Weeknd is an R&B artist that has gained significant critical acclaim and commercial success as of late. On Tuesday, he released The Trilogy, a collection of his 3 previous mixtapes in a 3-CD pack, which is expected to reach over 100,000 in sales. The Weeknd, otherwise known as Abel Tesfaye, rose to stardom after he released his music anonymously online. The Weeknd has received glowing endorsements from artists like fellow Torontonian Drake and Pittsburgh's Wiz Khalifa. That's all for me, Mohawk. Let's pass it over to Amber for our sports update.
Thanks, Greg. The Rochester Americans defeated the Hamilton Bulldogs 4-1 in the front crowd of 10,000 people at Copps Coliseum yesterday morning. The Americans opened the scoreboard with the first period, doubling their lead in the second. Rochester took a 3-0 lead mid-second period with a right point shot tipped in the front and over the arm of the Bulldogs goalie Robert Mayer. TJ Brennan of the Americans decided the fourth goal to tally the 4 minutes left in the second period. The Dogs finally got on board with their first goal at the 17-minute mark in the third period. The Dogs might want to shake their 3-game lose streak when they face the Toronto Marlies tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. And moving over to the mound, David Price, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the knuckleballer RJ and the New York Mets have received the 2012 American Cy Young Award for baseball. Price captured first place with 14 votes, snubbing Verlander's 13 votes. This marks the closest vote since 1969. Dickey is the first knuckleball pitcher to win a handful of voters in the end of 27 of 32 first-place votes and has the most successful career in his ripe age of 38. Price and Rickey both from Tennessee, making them the 4th pair in the Cy Young winners to be born in the same state. And moving to some footy talk, Slayton kept the game of the international friendlies exciting yesterday, scoring an amazing bicycle kick goal from 30 yards out to cap his 4th goal display in Sweden's 4-2 win over England. After pulling ahead in the 20th minute from close range, Slayton made the score 2-2 by cupping a lofted pass and volleying past Joe Hart. Slayton's free kick from the 35 yards out somehow beat Hart before the Sweden captain caused more embarrassment for the goalkeeper. This is the 2nd straight match that Sweden had scored 4 goals, in one occasion which they came from a 4-0 down to a draw 4-4 with Germany in the World Cup qualifier last month. And that's all I have for your sports. Let's pass it back to Lee and Alicia.
Thanks, Amber. They say crime doesn't pay, but in this case it looks like it may benefit the needy. A Brooklyn marijuana dealer says he's donating half his profits to help Hurricane Sandy victims. The dealer, who told his story on the condition of anonymity, has so far donated $700 to the cause. That's all your news for Thursday, November 15th. I'm Alicia Gallant.
And I'm Lee McConnell. For more news coverage, visit our website at ignitenews.ca. Thanks for watching, Mohawk.